We're going to stick to just basic principles and concepts of anything pyro. I want to get your mind thinking basic principles and concepts so you can be like me or like Bob Saracen across the way said, every time you walk into your local store or your local Big Lots, or you go into Joann's Fabrics or whatever, you'll be thinking, what can I use in here for pyro? Okay, you know what I mean? This has been the story of my life. You know, every time I come across a paper tube, it goes in my pocket. You know, I got junk here that's probably at least 20 years old. Okay, so sometimes it's not so useful, but that's the way we are. We just kind of grab stuff and do it. The other thing that I really want to stress, as far as I'm concerned, pyro is art. Okay, it's not a science. I mean, when you get out your scale and you weigh it, the composition, and you bring your press down to whatever PSI, etc., that's science. But that doesn't make your rocket, and that doesn't make your shell. That's only part of it. And the art portion of the pyro is why sometimes something works and sometimes it doesn't. And you can maybe get that down to more working than more not working, but you're still going to have a few not works. So this really is an art. And if you notice on my outline, for example, you can make green probably with 400 or 500 different formulas. And some people like a nice soft pale green and they'll call it lime, and some people like that real bright rich green and they'll call it emerald. Some people will put extra chlorine or extra metal in it, whatever, but it's green. And when you describe it on your thing, you're going to write down green, you're going to write bright green, lime green, however, but it's green. And there's lots of ways of making green. So we're not all going to do it the same. And no particular way is better or worse. What works for you is what counts. And if you make it work and make it work consistently and safely, stay with it. And that's another thing I wanted to stress. Okay, now, the title of the lecture is Paper, Paste, and String. The second part of the lecture is over here, which is Tape, Glue, Imagination, and Foam. What do you really call your shell? If you take a shell, whether it's a round shell or a canister shell, and start reducing it to principles, basically it's 3 components. Only 3 components. Every shell, no matter what kind of shell it is, has to have a fuse, has to have some contents, usually high energy chemicals, and it has to be in some kind of a container. That's the actual shell. That's why we call it a shell. Okay? So the time fuse is supposed to do 3 things. It's supposed to take fire, it's supposed to delay a little while, and it's supposed to give fire. You got a container. What's it supposed to do? What is it supposed to do for us in an Italian shell? We just hinted at it. It's supposed to enclose or contain and confine the contents. It's got to protect the contents to a certain extent. I hope I've got your brains going and you'll all go home and have a good time walking around your stores and come up with something good.